Hey guys, welcome back. Into this tutorial we'll be making another face mask, this time with a different pattern, and this tutorial is actually easier compared to some of the ones that I've made on this channel. My name is Abby and this is Waka Waka. So we'll be using circle patterns, and this circle pattern can be made from any circular household items, or we can also make our circles from scratch by folding this paper into 2 equal parts and then folding it into 4. Using the measurement of 4.5, I marked it on the folded paper and use a French curve to connect the marked line, and then I cut it out. I draw a line across the circle, and then from both ends I folded in about 2 inches towards the radius while using a tape measure to make sure it is equal on both sides. I label the 2 folding as top and bottom. With the tape measure, I mark 1 inch at the bottom of the folding. I rolled it and I also cut it out. I fold in the circle again to find the midpoint, and then I redrew a new center and I cancel the previous midpoint. I marked 1 inch away from the midpoint and then did another one below it, and I repeated the step for the other side of the circle. Once the fabric prep is done, I place the pattern and I'm pinning it to the fabric, and I cut it out without a sewing allowance. And once the cutting is done, I notched all of the 1 inch point. I measured 6.5 inch for the elastic and I cut out 2. Starting from one end of the fabric, I pinned the elastic to the 1 inch notching, and I also repeated it for the other side of the fabric. I'll be taking these 2 pins and I'll be placing it here. So all of my stitching will start from here all around and it would end here. And I flip the fabric to the right side. Press the seams to push out the edges so that it's nice and it matches, and I'll be doing a top stitch all around the edges of the circle while closing the open space too. I also did a stitch all around it like a top stitch. So the next thing what we're going to do is to fold in, starting from the bottom part. I'm just gonna pin it And for the top fold in, I did about 2 inches, and I also pinned it and I pressed it down to make sure it stays put. I marked the midpoint of the mask on both ends. I then brought in the French curve to place from the marked point, and then I did a tracing to the center point of the mask. As you can see, the tracing is done away from the edges of the fabric, and I repeated the process, marked the midpoint in all 4 corners of the mask. The stitching we do will be from the edge here all through, like just 1/4 away or 1/2 inch away from the edge. Then we'll go to the other side and to end here. Then we'll continue from the side like that till it ends there. And just back stitching. So what we've just done is that the sewn fold in can serve as a protective layer for the nose and underneath the jawline, while the rest of the mask is protecting your face. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in my next tutorials.